This is how to use your rich pine fire starter. The handle of the fire starter itself is made from rich pine, and the handle has been bored out so that you can store your shavings on the inside of the handle. Scrape out some shavings. When you're first learning to use it, it's better to use a larger amount of shavings, but as you get used to it, you can ignite it with an even smaller amount of shavings. On a new fire starter, there's a black paint on the ferro rod. That black paint needs to be scraped off to expose the silver before it will create any sparks. This is the tool that you'll use to run across your ferro rod to create the sparks. You can use a pocket knife, but that's what this tool is here for. This tool is stamped metal so that you'll notice that you've got a side that is more rounded, and on the underside it's a more sharp edge. You want to use that sharper edge to scrape along the ferro rod to create your sparks. So you'll just add pressure and run down, and that'll create your sparks. I like to use some sort of a surface. You can use a scrap piece of wood. Oftentimes you can use a piece of bark from a tree or a rock, but it makes it easier to be able to hold it still and be able to strike it. You'll want to hold your fire starter at about a 90-degree angle so that your sparks will shower down on top of the rich pine shavings. So you just want to collect it around the bottom of the ferro rod, and then run your tool down the ferro rod to create the sparks. Just like that. Now, when you're first getting used to it, I've learned that it's helpful to shave slowly some of these shavings from the ferro rod into the rich pine shavings, just like so. And once you get a fair amount of the shavings in there, those will also ignite with the sparks and be able to ignite it a lot easier. This will burn pretty hot, so get your fire built first, and then it's usually best to have this on a piece of wood that you can then pick up and then place into the fire that you've built. And of course you can put some pine needles on top of that to get it going from there, but this is just to get the initial fire started and then start building it from there. So since the handle itself is made from the rich pine, in the event that you are out of shavings and need to get a fire started, you can scrape rich pine straight off the side of the handle with this tool, and then that will also ignite the same as these ignite. There's about 12 feet of 550 paracord included with the handle, so this is more of a survival themed fire starter. So in the event that you needed a tourniquet or whatever you would need to use rope for, you can undo all this rope and you have about 12 feet. The inside of this rope, if you cut it, there's, I believe, 5 smaller strands inside of that as well. So that could also be taken out to use for whatever you need rope for. Just to show you the small amount, once you get used to using it, you can ignite it using even this small amount of rich pine right here. Although it is a little bit more difficult. So I recommend using a larger amount when you're first learning how to use it, and then you can practice with smaller and smaller amounts. That is how to use your Rich Pine Firestarter.